in the very beginning, did you always want to be a cheerleader, or is it something that progressed over time?
Something that progressed. When I was in elementary school, preschool, whatever, I was in gymnastics. I liked it a lot, but I was also in soccer and basketball and all these other sports. So gymnastics had to go. I kept with soccer. And then middle school, I started with cheer
Hmm.
in seventh grade. I tried out. Sixth grade, I was starting back with tumbling. So
Right.
seventh grade, I made the team. So I
Okay.
cheered seventh, eighth grade. Then I started going to high school. And by my eighth grade year, I tried out for competitive cheer,
Right.
and that's when I really found my love for it.
Okay. And like I said, you say competitive cheer. So before it was basically just did you have the opportunity to compete at a younger age, or do you have to wait to be in competitive cheer, or is that something you can do before? Like, did you make the decision to do that at a later age, or you just couldn't do it before?
Yeah, I made the decision at a later age because I was more focused on soccer.
Right.
But then I started cheering middle school, and we weren't able to compete. And then my high school that I was going to, they didn't compete either because it was a brand new high school. So competitive cheer is the only way to really continue with that. Like we
Right.
still stunted and tumbled in middle and high school, but when we were at competitive cheer, things were real.
Right. And how old were you when you started the competitive cheer?
It was eighth grade, so I guess I was 13,
Uh,
14.
all right. So you cheered from eighth grade. Well, so you started before eighth grade. So
Yeah,
eighth grade was when the competitive cheer happened.
yeah.
So you've been cheering for some time.
Like 10 years?
10 years.
At least, yeah.
So explain tumbling to me. I hear the terminology tumbling a lot, and I'm new to the cheer athletics. So
Yeah.
tell me more about tumbling.
Um, I always explain it to other people who don't know what it is as the flips you see us doing.
Right.
You know, I mean, it starts with roundoffs, back handsprings, tucks, layouts, fulls.
Right.
But I say that, and people have never heard of it. They're like, "You mean the
What?
flips you do?" And I'm like, "Okay, yeah, the
Right.
flips I do."
Right. A layout. What's a layout? I heard that one. Layout.
All
What's
right,
that?
layout. So you normally do that after a roundup back handspring layout.
Hmm.
So where your body is completely straight up and down,
Right.
you set in the air, and
Hmm.
then when you get to a certain height,
Hmm.
you slap your body, hips
Right.
up,
Right.
and land on the floor.
Right. So were you the one doing the throwing, or were you the one being caught?
It's definitely the one doing throwing
Right.
back in the day.
Right. Why you were afraid to go up, or
I was way too
you
big
just
to go
you
up.
you just you feel like you wasn't lightweight.
I was not.
You
No,
weren't light.
I was definitely a bigger person back in the day. So
Well,
I was a
you
floor
seem to have
floor
grown
person.
out of that. So no more bigness.
Yeah, no more bigness,
You're
but
extremely in
yeah,
shape. Oh, that's a good thing. So, do you enjoy coaching? Do you enjoy it a lot?
yeah. I love coaching. I love my kids. I say my kids like they are my kids.
Right,
I love
right,
them. They
right,
ever need anything, I'm always there. I do
right.
love coaching. It's definitely has its ups and downs.
Hmm.
It can be super challenging sometimes. You get a kid, you guys are butting heads, but
Right, right,
at the end of the day, you love them, they love you. There's mutual respect there. Once they push past that difficult part, you
right,
see them bloom into something amazing, and you're like, bruh,
right, right. How is it dealing with the younger children when you're doing this? Like, how do you get the attention of a child? Like you said, as you said, you're bumping heads. So when you're bumping heads with a child, how have you been able to in the past get those particular children to kind of get back on key or back on step or just on track in general?
I mean, I did it today. I had a 5, 6, 7, 8 year old in my class, and there's a whole another team practicing at the same time we're practicing.
Mm-hmm.
So they're trying to look at what other people are doing, and I'm like, hey, we're here, remember?
Mm-hmm.
And I just remind them of what we're doing, like,
Right.
oh, we're doing a bridge now,
Right.
like we're doing this, and I show them what we need to do so that they remember. They get back in the groove. I mean, they're gonna get not confused. They're gonna get distracted. They
Right.
get
Right.
distracted at times. They're young, like it's gonna happen. I mean, I look over at the other team sometimes, so
Mm-hmm.
like it's gonna happen. I'm not mad at it. We just gotta pull them back in.
Okay. That's probably easier said than done.
Yes, I mean, yes, some kids are definitely more challenging than others.
Yeah, I can imagine. What's the better age group for you? What do you prefer, the older ones or the younger ones?
Man, definitely, it's easier to coach middle school and high school age because they know what you're talking about. They understand the process. They
Hmm.
know that you got to do X, Y, Z to get to
Right,
You got
right,
to do a round off before you can do a round of handspring.
right,
You got to work baby steps. There's a mutual respect there, and when they're younger, they don't necessarily have that. They just kind of want to run around, have fun with their friends.
right, right. Um, Competition. I can only imagine. Like, what is the difference? And once again, it's kind of a common sense thing, but I just want to hear somebody break it down for me. When you deal with these competitions, um, what is the level of is it more complicated when you're dealing with, like I said, when the younger versus the older? Because when you see the older ones, they're more professional, they're flipping in the air, they're doing this. When you're dealing with younger competitions, like, is there a big concern about people being hurt or things that may happen? Is it harder to kind of get them to do some of these? Like, do you do as many stunts when it comes to the younger ones in regards to competitions?
No, see, when they're younger, they're normally on level 1, 2 teams. So they're
Right,
doing preps, extensions, back handsprings at the most, but most of the time back walkovers, front walkovers. So there's not a huge margin of error
right,
when it comes to injuries. So especially with tumbling when they're that young,
mm,
not that dangerous.
right,
Same with stunts. We make sure that they've got lots of spots. We're around their spotting. We're making sure no one's getting hurt, making
right,
sure they start the right way, finish the right way, let them down safely. Then you
right.
can go crazy.
At what point do they get to do that? At what point do you all transition into the more complicated stunts? What age range do those types of things happen?
It's not even necessarily age. It depends on the maturity level of the individual and the team.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got kids that are 7 and they're working on fulls. We've also got kids that are 7
Right,
trying to do a cartwheel.
right,
It just depends on the maturity level of the child and how
right.
much they want it.
So you
They
kind
want
of
it's gonna happen.
base it off of progression.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. I believe I asked you one time before about the level of extreme in the competition. Does it when I watch the movie Bring It On, they make it seem like a almost like gang banging in the cheerleader squad. Colors, colors, colors. Like, is it is it that serious in the competition? I mean, are people really trying to get physical with the fights or is that just kind of movie? Is that more?
Definitely movie. Not even close. Especially
Yeah.
with competitive cheer. For high school, it can be a little more beefy, but not
Right.
really. Like, those kids that are on high school teams, they cheer together at, like, a competitive gym.
Right.
We've got kids that are on Blythewood, Spring Valley, whatever, but they've cheered here before. They love each other. They want to see each other succeed.
Mm-hmm.
In these movies, they're like, bruh, I hate you, fall. I
Right.
hate you, break a neck.
Right.
We are not like that. We're a pretty uplifting sport. Like, yeah, we want to win. Yeah, secretly, we're like, kind of hoping the other person falls. And, like, we're mainly just hoping that a stunt doesn't get to go up. Like, not so that they fall or get
Right.
hurt,
Yeah.
or that they
Yeah.
miss
You don't
their
want
chance.
you don't want to get hurt. You just don't want the stunt to go completely as planned.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
a
just a
little
little bit
mishap.
off, a little mishap. You stumble a
Yeah.
little bit when you land, something like that.
Yeah.
You might fall after they catch you. They don't quite hold you right. Yeah, I got you. I
Yeah.
got you. Um, so how much longer are you going to be done? Like, are you planning on? Are you going to continue? Coaching for a long time. Is that like a long term thing? Like, is that something that you can do into your further years, or is that just something you feel like you're doing right now until you find something else to do in life? Like, is this really a passion that you see yourself holding on to, or is it just a step to the next thing in life?
Not gonna lie, I'm mainly still a cheer coach because I love this gym. I love this family.
Right.
My boss is, like, we lived in the same neighborhood. She took me home. We had long talks. I love her. She's like a second mom.
Right.
So I've got such deep connection with this gym that I'm still here.
Right.
If it weren't for that connection, I would definitely be at another job. Like, I do like to coach and I love my kids,
Right.
but there's more profitable ways to make money,
Right.
more hours, stuff like that. Because
Right.
when you're at a cheer gym, you have to do with the kids.
Right.
Kids get off of school
Right.
at 4 or like 3:30.
Right.
You can only do it after that. Kids aren't going to be up till 10 o'clock at night.
Right. Right.
But I love the kids. I love the gym. That's why I'm here.
Okay. So I mean, so basically, as long as it's a passion, you'll be able to continue. Pretty
Yeah.
much. That's
As long as I'm here,
right.
I'll help when I can.
That's good. Well, let the people know where they can find out about you and how can they bring their children to you to get some lessons.
Well, we are located in Elgin, South Carolina, which is really right next to Columbia. It's kind of the same thing. Right next to the Harley Davidson Tower. You can go on our website or Google us, ACX Twisters. We'd love to have you. You come in, call us, let us know, or you can just walk in. We'll give you a tour. We'll get your kids set up in whatever level. We'll evaluate them depending on what skill level they are. They'll be in a class, they'll be on a team. We don't ever turn anyone away.
All right. Well, that's what it is. We appreciate you right here on the Strong Arm Athletics Podcast, and we look to see you again on a part 3.
Yes, sir. I'll be here.
All right. Well, we look to have you. Thank you.
No problem. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.